Weidman, suggesting on Twitter you were a tad bit overrated. Bohashinya, Paulo Costa didn't particularly like the performance. I really hate these sort of cheap questions about, like, what do you think about it? But on the other hand, I kind of have to ask, do you pay any mind to that?
Yeah, I didn't pay any mind to it, but Chris Weidman, I'm overrated. Okay, why? Because he beat Silva, you know, a little bit more handily than I did, you know. Overrated. Interesting. I could say the same thing about him. Heavily. And yeah, when I get this belt in my next fight, they can all line up and they can find out how overrated I am. And Chris Weidman, that's his opinion. That's his opinion, and I don't have to pay attention to it. But yeah, overrated. That's interesting.
So let's talk about this. I mean, is there any way to map out the next step in the future, because you don't know when you're coming back? Stipe may or may not take a fight between then. I suspect if it's not Cain Velasquez, he'll beat anybody else, right? Because he is that good. So, like, if you're thinking about your next fight, is it Stipe? Is it Brock? Like, where when you're really beginning to consider what the next step's going to be, is there still too many unknown variables?
I think maybe Lesnar next would be the fight. And again, as I've always said, if it's not him, yeah, I'll fight Stipe again. It's just the same exact thing. And it's not me. We're not waiting for Brock Lesnar. It's like, because of my injuries, I'm just not available to fight. If I was available to fight, I probably would have fought Stipe already. But I'm just not available to fight right now. So we'll see what happens with Lesnar, and then we'll address what's after that. But if we talk about Dana's schedule of fights, he said Lesnar, Stipe, Jones. Yeah. I guess that last one at 205 would probably be the best, because I don't want to be going down to 205 back up to heavyweight. So it would be Lesnar, Miocic, and Jones if I had 3 fights. If I had 3 fights. If I had 2, it may be Lesnar back to 205 to fight Jones. You know, but it's not going to be, it'll be on my terms.
Well, has Khabib said he did not want to fight Conor again? I appreciate you being honest about that. That's the fight you'd like to see him take, because it's definitely the biggest money fight. Went into the 4th round, which is better than a lot of people thought Conor would do. I mean, has he spoken about that, or has he indicated that he might be open for that?
He has, from everything he said, he doesn't deserve it. So he's not down with the Conor thing from what I read and what he's kind of indicated to me.
But would he be willing to fight a guy like a Ferguson, who is the deserving contender, for a lot less money than he would get for Conor?
Yes, he would, because he's not about the money.
Okay.
He is. I am. Ali is, for sure. But no, not Khabib. No.
Now, do you see Tony as the next logical fight for Khabib?
Yeah, if you're looking at it from a point of sports, yeah, they're hands down. It has to be Tony. But if you're looking at from a prize fighting, no, he's not, because he won't make the most money. But he deserves it from a sports point of view, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, who do you see then? If not Tony, who do you see?
Well, for me, you got to understand, it's a prize fight, right?
Sure.
So we're always looking for the biggest prize fight. I mean, who's the biggest prize fight for Daniel Cormier? Brock Lesnar. So who do I want? Brock Lesnar. So who's the biggest prize fight for Khabib again? For me, and I'm not speaking for Khabib because Khabib doesn't think like I do. I'm thinking Conor rematch only because I think that'll do great numbers again, and so it's a lot of money for him. So I look at it from that point of view. But from the point of who deserves the title shot,
sure,
you know, it's definitely.
What was your reaction when you got the offer to fight Cain Velasquez in his return fight? Like, was this a fight that was on your radar?
Yes, of course. I was so excited about it. You know that just after I fought Arlovski 2 years ago, I mentioned Cain Velasquez. Then, you know, he said it was injury, stuff like that. And then I always looking forward for this fight. Then now I finally have it. Before have the Curtis fight, before have the Lewis fight, I was looking for Cain Velasquez, and now I have it. So it's a good thing for me.
I think a lot of people are curious as to which Cain Velasquez we're going to see because we haven't seen him for so long, 2.5 years. Which Cain Velasquez are you expecting to see on Sunday?
What do I expect to see? I want to see the best Cain Velasquez, and anyway, I prepare myself for the best Cain Velasquez. You know, I don't want to be tricky about all those what some people are saying. Or
is there any doubt in your mind that he won't be champion again?
He'll be the champ very, very soon. Like, as soon as I'm out of there, he'll be the champion. As soon as I'm out of there, he'll be the champion. You know, is the only issue with that is like the UFC has to know that now Cain is healthy and they can trust him because he'll be around for a while.
You know what was kind of scary? I went back and watched some of Ngannou's fights. I went back and watched, you know, some of Cain's fights. You know, we haven't seen Cain compete in a little while. Obviously, I know both of them very well. But I went back and watched the fight against Curtis Blades. Yeah, I thought that the exact punch that Junior Dos Santos caught Cain Velasquez with in their first fight is the exact same punch that Ngannou caught Curtis Blades with. Watch that fight. It is crazy. Exact same shot. Looks like the exact same sequence. The way that they dropped, he hit him right on the side of the ear. For those that are listening to the podcast, go and check that out. Watch those two fights in the finish of Dos Santos in the first one against Cain and the one that Ngannou just beat Blades with in the rematch. It was very interesting. That scared me a little bit. It also scares me a little bit that sometimes Cain Velasquez will trade in the pocket. If he wants to be able to land and set up his takedown, he needs to put himself in the pocket and throw hands against Ngannou to get the respect so he can get a clean shot on those legs. If he gets in on the leg of Ngannou, I think the fight is over. I think Cain takes him down. I don't think that Ngannou is going to be able to get up many times after that. If he does, Cain is very good at returning you right back down to the mat and pressuring you, getting his head over your head so you can't do that again. And I think Cain has been itching for a fight. In talking to Daniel Cormier, he said it looks like Cain Velasquez has never left the game, and he is ready to go. We've seen Ngannou against Stipe Miocic. I think Cain Velasquez is perhaps the original Stipe Miocic, and I would love to see those two tangle at one point, Stipe and Cain, but I think Cain is just going to be too good. I think he gets the stoppage over Ngannou at the end of the